This week, something bizarre happened. Earlier in the week, Mike Pence was on all the cable news programs talking about Michael Flynn's son, whose name also happens to be Michael Flynn. Now, people know that Michael Flynn is the national security advisor to Donald Trump. He oversees a staff of 400 at the White House. Any reports from the military, from the intelligence agencies that come to the White House go through this guy, who many people think has literally started to lose his mind. He was tweeting out all sorts of conspiracy theories over the past several months. Former colleagues are in the papers saying something has changed about this guy. He's not the guy I knew. Well, his son was his chief of staff, Michael Flynn Jr., and Mike Pence was on all the cable talk shows this week, having to deny that the guy was on the transition team. Why? Because of a pizza place. Tell us about that, Farron.
Well, Flynn Jr. did what Flynn Sr. has done and what Steve Bannon have done. Bannon, obviously, during his time at Breitbart, he continued this lie about what's been called now Pizzagate. And what it was started by Andrew Breitbart many years ago, where they tried to piece together some kind of conspiracy from these hacked, leaked emails that involved John Podesta, where they kept mentioning pizza, because apparently John Podesta likes to eat pizza. So they thought there had to be something more to it than just John Podesta likes pizza. So they somehow managed to come across an email that mentioned a handkerchief that had some kind of pizza logo on it. They tied it to this pizza place, Comet, in Washington, D.C., and said, here's what we know has happened. This pizza place is a front for a pedophilia ring that John Podesta and, by extension, Hillary Clinton are obviously a part of. You go in, you order a special kind of pizza, and basically you're ordering sex with an underage person. Now, there is no evidence whatsoever to show that any of this was even remotely close to reality. But they ran with it. Breitbart ran with it, and then when he took over, Bannon ran with it. Then you had Flynn Sr. and Flynn Jr. as recently as last week, as recently as, I believe, this past Sunday for Flynn Jr., tweeting out the fact that this story is real until proven false. And that, obviously, as we know, resulted in a crazed right-winger going into this pizza shop in Washington, D.C., shooting up the place. Thank God nobody was killed in this. But he thought he was going to come in, be this right-wing vigilante, and destroy all these alleged pedophiles based on this lie, this conspiracy theory lie put forward by Breitbart.com. And now those people are serving in the Trump administration, which resulted in Flynn Jr., as you pointed out. He was fired, even though they claim he was not involved with the Trump transition.
To watch Mike Pence go on national television and say unequivocally on multiple occasions that Michael Flynn was not part of the transition team, and then backpedal later in the day after he had been fired from the transition team to say, well, my understanding is he helped his dad out with his scheduling, and have to repeatedly ignore a question from Jake Tapper sitting right across from him, but he had security clearances given to him by the transition team, of which you're the head. How do you reconcile that? I mean, it just gives you a brief insight into the nature of how Mike Pence is able to lie with an incredibly straight face. I mean, granted, there's a little activity with his eyebrows, but this is it is stunning to watch this guy lie on national television. And so, of course, one of the Flynns is out. One of the Flynns is still in there, and he's the more problematic one because, frankly, he's the national security advisor. But it is just another sort of terrifying aspect of what we're seeing out of the Trump administration. And this, again, is the guy who has the president's ear when it comes to national security. It is, concerning to say the least.
Well, you got Flynn in one ear and then you got Bannon in the other. And the only remedy for this, for the fake news fiasco that we're going through right now, is the injured parties here, which in this case would be Podesta, because obviously you got to be looking at some kind of libel lawsuit. Yeah. You can't just say someone is a pedophile. And so, sue them and make them go the way of Gawker. Take everything they've got. That is the only thing that would work in an instance like this. And I hope to God that John Podesta already has a lawyer lined up to look into this.
Well, let's talk about, we just got a couple of minutes left here. Let's talk about the other appointment that took place this week. We mentioned that the Trump is going to nominate a climate change denier, a tireless foe of EPA regulations, a pal of the fracking industry to be the head of his EPA. Well, for the head of HUD, which is the Housing Urban Development Agency that provides housing for millions of people in this country and subsidizes the building of low-income housing that maintains people's right to get housing despite discrimination, was none other than Ben Carson, who has, zero experience in any of these things. So, Farron, we're just about out of time here, but the bottom line is the people that are going to be appointed are either going to be diametrically opposed to the functioning of their agency or are going to be simply constitutionally incapable of providing any leadership so that the agency that they're heading functions. And this, if you ask me, is all by design, but it's something that I know you and I will end up talking about for the weeks, the months, and sadly, the years to come.